Zaz had to rush out of here. He's got a flight to catch as part of his college football coverage this weekend.
You got to watch some movies on that flight.
And I will tell you as he leaves, he's going to come back with stories because I don't believe he owns clothing for Madison, Wisconsin this time of year.
Oh, no.
I don't believe that he knows what he's headed toward. What's the temperature right now in Madison? Have we gotten to the terrible days of it just feels like nothing but icy cold in your bones, or are we not there yet? Because he didn't tell us he was going to Madison. I have also in front of me an assortment of gifts that we are not using to celebrate what is supposed to be today, before Thanksgiving, during the holidays, a time of giving.
Illinois, Wisconsin, really something they're sending them to?
44 degrees out there.
Okay.
That's actually pleasant.
That's not so bad? Okay. He
For
hasn't gotten
Wisconsin?
to the bad years yet, or the bad months yet, or the bad weeks. GiveMiamiDay.org is where you go. You've got till midnight tonight. If you're listening to this later in the day, if you're running, we know we're in gyms with you. We know we're in night jobs with you. You've got till midnight, the end of the day today. In partnership with the Perez Family Foundation, on behalf of my late brother, they are giving $10,000 to GiveMiamiDay.org, an assortment of charities that you can get involved with. They've done the vetting for you, so it's not like you have to question where it is that your money is going. This is going to be spent in good places that have been meticulously vetted. Tony is out at Lone Depot Park. They're going to kick him out of there in a second. They don't want him there anymore, no matter how charitable he is. So let's get to Tony's top 5 from Lone Depot. Put the information, please, on the screen, rolling around and near Tony, so people continue to give during what is a one-day telethon on behalf of Giving to Miami.
And let me remind people, Tony's Top 5 is presented by Smirnoff, the official vodka sponsor of the National Football League. Smirnoff, please drink responsibly. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Vodka, 40% alcohol by volume.
Let's get going,
Dan,
Tony.
great to be with you from Lone Depot Park. Yes, sir. We are actually $17 million donated right now. I don't know if it's over my shoulder right there. $17.2 million donated. Again, over 1,400 organizations, over 70,000 donations, and 38,000 different donors. So a very cool situation. We just had entire programs talking about all the beautiful things that people are donating to, all the causes that are incredible, from foster care to people with disabilities playing music and stuff. It's a very touching scene, and I will be giving you my top 5 right now. No OLIs, because obviously we're late on in the week. We've talked everything there is to talk about regarding the NFL, but a couple of things here. We'll start off with number 5. Dano, that Davis Mills throw. I know you know the throw I'm talking about. That was a special throw, Dan.
I mean, every once in a while he's going to make a special throw. The Texans shouldn't be saying no way to trading Davis Mills.
How many games have they won since he's been the starting quarterback?
All of them.
Seems to be doing just fine with that pressure up the middle, Dan.
Yep. All right, number 4, keep an eye on the 49ers. Brock Purdy looks solid against a good Arizona defense. That NFC West is a mother. And I think that Brock Purdy and the 49ers can sneak into a little something if they start getting healthy on the defensive side.
Not again. We're not going to do this again with the 49ers, are we? We're going to do this again with the 49ers?
Fred Warner's too much. Bosa and Fred Warner. If he does that, Kyle Shanahan. Woo! Put that on the poll.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show, Juju. Kyle Shanahan, if he does that. Woo!
Number 3, Jags versus Chargers. We don't know if either team is good. We don't know if either team is bad on a literally week-to-week basis. The Chargers some days are good. The Chargers some days may be good, some days may be. And also the Jags. You beat the Chiefs, you beat the Chargers, and then you lose to like whoever they've lost to, the Texans or whoever, just whatever abysmal loss they've had. Like, they're so weird. They're either good, they're bad, they're not good, they're not. Like,
You were just talking up Davis Mills, and now the Texans is a bad loss?
Well, but they lost them with C.J. Stroud at quarterback.
Oh, we're not doing that
Different
now.
team.
Well, really? We're going to do that now? You don't. Wait a minute.
Their starter?
So, this is what we're going to do to C.J. Stroud now.
$17 million, Dano. $17.284 million. What an incredible donation here at Give Miami Day. Incredible. Please donate if you're listening
Number
to this.
2.
All right, number 2. Kneeling with almost 3 minutes left in the Cowboys-Raiders was sickening. There's no room for that in our sport. Zazzle likes to talk about no punching in our sport. How about no kneeling with 2.5 minutes left in the game? How about that? How about you go punch it in and score a touchdown? Who cares what the score is? How about that? Sickening. Nope. And number one, probably the biggest news of the entire weekend. The Chiefs, and more so, the shipping container got debacled. A debacling happened, Dano. Debacled. Okay?
Debacled.
We got debacled. Yeah, thank you. That's number one. The Chiefs and the shipping container got absolutely debacled.
I'm sorry you guys lost more than $5,000 on a Nick Wright bet. Tony, thank you for the work that you did out there. Get out of there. It is loud. It is loud. I don't believe that we celebrated with enough of the goodies that they sent us, but please continue to give throughout the entirety of the day until midnight tonight. I have a couple of things, Eagles and Chiefs related, because I've seen the stat floating around. The Chiefs' offense this year scores more per drive than any of the offenses before it. They're 0-5 in close games. All of a sudden, they go from how we talked about them last year when they were 11-0 in one-score games to they know how to win, they're clutch, Mahomes is the best. This year, they're better offensively per drive scoring, but they lose the one-score games, and now they play at home against the Colts. And now they're in danger of being 5-6 and having the same record, same number of wins as the Dolphins, a worse record than the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, the Eagles have this funny problem. When we talk, about how much basketball has changed, football changing in this regard is funny. It's a funny thing to watch. Jalen Hurts is said to be unpopular with his teammates, primarily his offensive teammates, because they play a conservative, constipated style of football that wins, obviously, in a way that is more than any other team in the sport. But the emphasis is, Jalen, we always win when we win the turnover battle. So, all that matters from the new age quarterback on a champion is don't turn the ball over. Don't throw into tight windows in zone. Don't do all the things that people are doing in football all over the sport. And now what happens? His wide receivers hate him because they'd like to make some money and be good at offense because they can be, because they're great. What a funny thing to have happen in that risk-averse sport where the greatest champion that wins all the time, the receivers are really getting mad at their quarterback. Throw into a tight window. No. I'm going to tuck the ball because we win every time I don't turn the ball over.
Yes.
It's a funny controversy to have in the middle of a team that's won 24 of 27 games.
But Dan, that's the beauty of professional sports, right? Professional team sports. It's the balance of your individual goals within the greater agenda of winning. That's what Draymond Green was talking about 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. Like how do I make myself look good enough to get paid, but also do what the team needs to get wins?
I'd like to bring in Pablo Torre here because the work that he's doing with a team of journalists requires it's just not a lot of work, effort, and caring. He's doing a lot of work that other people are not doing, even on well-traversed ground where it's difficult to do new work. So you're attacking something here that is conversationally, it looks, based on your reporting and collaboration you're doing with Mother Jones Magazine, that Riley Gaines, with your podcast, it's being shown how it is that she was used and how all of this was maneuvered politically. And so tell us, Pablo, what it is that you're reporting with Mother Jones here so people can get caught up on whatever it is you think you know about this. There's some fact-based reporting here that will show you that there's been what looks like a great deal of maneuvering and manipulation strictly for a very easy, profitable grift.
Yeah, there's a segue here somewhere between Tony's top five and Riley Gaines, the most famous fifth place finisher, I think, college sports history, but I am not here to talk about such jokes. The thing that this story is about, though, is the number one politically impactful sports story in America. And it's Riley Gaines, who is this former University of Kentucky swimmer who has become, over time, someone who has become the face of what it means to win elections in America in 2025, just like hammering this issue, keep predators out of women's sports, predators meaning trans people, according to her, and the MAGA movement, as well as the face and the voice of people who've been victimized by such athletes. And so what we did with Mother Jones in collaboration with them and the Center for Investigative Reporting was actually profile Riley Gaines, who is this incredibly important person in politics and now in sports, having been a person who tied for fifth with Leah Thomas, the trans swimmer at the NCAA championships now 4 years ago. And the thing we were studying was like, when did this all escalate to the point where not only can you make money off of this, Dan, but you're actually somebody who has a leadership center named after her. You're actually somebody who's appearing dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times on Fox News, is praised by name in person by President Trump at the White House as they're banning trans athletes and in the process declaring victory, as they are the people who are arguing this is an 80-20 issue. The 20% of you woke libs are getting it wrong. We're winning this 80% of the time. And so when you go through this, you realize that this was a manufactured story, that Riley Gaines did not always believe this, that when you talk to her teammates, and we did, they tell you she wasn't anti-trans in college. She was not pro-Trump in college. She is somebody who over time got paid to develop an opinion into a weapon. And she got paid to develop her experience of tying for fifth place at the NCAA swimming championships into a professional victimhood that not only got exaggerated in terms of the rhetoric around it, but truly in terms of the implications for what it is to be a trans person. As in, it became, my colleagues, my friends, fellow female athletes were abused, preyed upon, victimized by these quote unquote men in sports. And there's a lot in that. But the things that I found all indicate, oh, wait a minute. There was a story of victimization in college involving Riley Gaines' teammates, but it wasn't the one that Leah Thomas had allegedly perpetrated. It was something deeper and darker that Riley Gaines has talked about literally once on Twitter while she makes these dozens of appearances all across the country talking about the real problem is over there. She doesn't want to talk about this specific thing, which is, I think, the big part of the story that we reported.
Pablo, just the person I wanted to speak with. Team A is
oh, come
8
on!
and
You
2.
can't keep
Team
keep
B
doing
is
this.
8
You can't
and
do
2.
this.
Oh, we're not
Team
doing
A
this.
and Team
You
B
can't.
played a
You
football game.
can't do this every time, Mike. With this.
All right. So just based on the fact that Donald Trump credited Riley Gaines for his reelection, do you believe that if Riley Gaines beat Leah Thomas by a millisecond, that Donald Trump is reelected as president of the United States for a second time?
I had not phrased it in my head until Roy just put it that way. We may be living in a different America. That is how insanely important this issue and resonant this issue seems to be. And the whole thing, Roy, like why that's a good exercise here is not just because what a crazy sliding doors possibility. It's that there is now this entire population of people who claim to really care about women's sports. And their lens to see women's sports through is through the trans issue, right? These guys who otherwise could not, who actually actively insulted women's basketball over the years, the WNBA, women's sports in general, who are all making fun of it, are now rebranded as the foremost protectors of it because it is politically useful and because there is the easiest target in America, which is to say the most downtrodden, like attempting suicide at a rate of 1 in 3 kind of downtrodden population, which is the trans person in America. And so the trans athlete, the reason why there's this other story that I've been trying to tell people is because, and this is sort of spoiling the episode, so please go and listen to it in the way the chef intended. But the real thing you have to understand is that at the University of Kentucky, one of Riley Gaines' best friends, as she calls him in her book, somebody who she's called a really good coach over the years, someone she's been very close to, is the head coach of the UK women's swimming team, the former head coach now, a guy named Lars Jorgensen. And Coach Lars himself was accused of rape by multiple teammates on that same UK swim team that Riley Gaines comes from. And that premise of why do you not know the story of an actual male predator inside of the locker rooms that Riley Gaines and Donald Trump are trying to defend, right? The sanctity of, the safety of, the protection of these women. Why does no one know about that story? Why does Riley Gaines literally, except for one tweet, never even acknowledge that it happened? It speaks to the entire, not just like hypocrisy, but the mutant version of how the safety of women is being used against the interests of women. And it's not just like whataboutism. It's literally the question of, we are always trying to figure out who gets to get the protection and the attention of Americans at a time when that is scarce and very competitive. And what Riley Gaines is telling you is, look over at the time that I tied for 5th place at the NCAA swimming championships. That is like sexual assault. Remember when she went back and forth with Simone Biles, right? Simone Biles, actual victim of Larry Nassar, basically made those things equivalent. She herself has experienced this thing. And so I'll just quote one of Riley's teammates, and forgive me for going on about this, but because I just need to sort of put this in full context. What one of Riley Gaines' teammates told us, Trinity Ward, on tape with her own face, which is incredibly brave to do, is all the time she goes out and people ask her, because she tells them I swam for the University of Kentucky, oh, do you know Riley Gaines? And she asks them in response, do you know about Lars Jorgensen? And what Trinity Ward said to us is, and this is me paraphrasing, it's really hard for me to care about Riley Gaines tying for 5th place when our head coach was accused of raping our teammates. And like, that is not abstract. That is the reality of the locker room that has become this social experiment for American politics to fight it out over. And somehow the biggest story about the predation of our actual young women in sports gets entirely ignored until you get a former teammate like this speaking out about it.
As I have mentioned a number of times now, Pablo Torre finds out it's very difficult work to do. It's a special collaboration with Mother Jones Magazine. It requires a great deal of vetting, a great deal of lawyering. All of this work is mostly work that other people are not willing to do. So I salute you for doing it. But when you think of the most important things that you're trying to do with this particular episode and the storytelling, I'm assuming from what it is that you're saying that the macro here that you're, for all of the revelations, what they are, the disgust that one must have at the idea of politics being used this way, when you have to ask the largest question of who are we protecting here if you're going to allow a rapist to roam the locker room while allegedly, right? No, yes, thank you for that. But when in front of you, the most famous story involving Riley Gaines doesn't have anything to do with protecting women.
It's crazy, man. And there is like a dark comedy in this. Like, the thing you think you should be paying attention to is over here. The actual crisis in women's sports, which any female athlete can tell you, which largely involves, by the way, men in positions of power. Like, the irony, Dan, the sheer irony, right? And the reason I have to say alleged is because all of this, of course, is very carefully legally vetted. And I want to be very careful about all of this. But the question of what about men in female locker rooms in college? It's like, they already exist. They're called the coaches. And they are Larry Nassar. They are allegedly Lars Jorgensen. They are the people who have the power, who are actually men. Like, we're not disagreeing that there are men who prey upon women, young women in sports. The question is, which ones, allegedly, should you care about? And so what's crazy also is that over time, like, Riley Gaines has given so many interviews to various podcasts, conservative outlets, TV networks over time, that you see the rhetoric, Dan. You see it evolve to be weaponized. It didn't start off as trans inclusion is the same as sexual assault, is the same as welcoming predators into female locker rooms. It didn't start off like that. but you see over time how they workshop. And we play the clips year to year, month to month. You see the rhetoric change to become more and more criminal and violent in the nature of its allegations. And it becomes something that many people, many parents, again, as the father of a daughter, right? I hear from people now in my mentions who are like, how dare you betray your blah, 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 blah. You're an embarrassed, blah, 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 whatever. The point is, if you care about girls and women in sports, there are issues to care about. It's just that we're being manipulated through money, by the way, that originates in a key form here. And you alluded to this before, Dan, and I've only gotten to this now, from the owners of the Orlando Magic. The DeVos family has put 6 figures behind Riley Gaines as this figure. Like, they're funding her work, her activism, which gets it all backwards. To the profit, again, I ask everybody to think of who profits from this. I would dare say that it's not actually the women and girls that Donald Trump has as these props as he's signing executive orders to ban trans athletes from women's sports.
Pablo, I found it fascinating the way that you guys laid everything out in terms of how this grift began and how Riley seemingly learned at each stop on the radio or podcast, from Clay Travis to then Charlie Kirk and beyond, how to phrase all of this and turn it into a bigger boogeyman. But what you really eventually lay out is how this becomes an ability to provide the framework to keep people not just out of sports. What is sort of the most dangerous precedent that's being set here, and where can it continue to sort of exclude trans people, not just from sports, but from society?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that sports is like this gateway drug for lots of cultural issues. It's also the legal framework via these Supreme Court cases working their way through the system now to actually strip the rights from trans people to be just included or allowed in these spaces. And I think there is an enormous sort of paradox of like, how can this problem, which is vanishingly small in real life, right? So again, the numbers per the president of the NCAA is that there, at last check, were fewer than 10 varsity D1 level trans athletes, right? So that's less than 0.02%. That's the moral panic that swings elections. That these legislations, these bills, these legislative efforts that are spreading across America in state houses where they can't find the trans athletes to justify the actual legislation, can't find the people, the offenders to like parade in front of courthouses. None of that matters because the rhetoric has been so persuasive around how dangerous they are, how predatory they are. And so sports being the place where you can officially ban them from public, or at the very least from sports spaces, leads to then what about in the rest of American life? And it's nuts, man. It's all like you can have a debate, a rightful debate about scientific advantage, right? What advantage did Leah Thomas have physiologically, even after testosterone suppression therapy? We've done episodes about that. This is not an episode about whether an athlete who went through male puberty is better in the abstract than a female athlete who didn't go through male puberty. That is not the debate. The debate is, what are people spending their money on that they don't want you to realize that will fundamentally strip the rights of the most actually victimized population of people in America to benefit an administration that's using it to just gain more power and enrich themselves? Like, that's the real mind of all of it, is that they are winning. They're actually winning. And they're running the same play over and over and over again, like an NFL team that's just running the ball. Or 50 times in a row.
Or like the SEC when it comes to the college football playoff. What has the Utah Utes done to deserve the number 12 ranking? Just a week, Pablo, look into this. A week after they named the AD to the
No. I'm sorry to do this to you, Mike.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for verbal diarrhea.
Wins over Jeff Sims. Open your eyes.
The thing that I have failed to get to with Pablo is him and his team getting nominated one of the 10 best podcast episodes, according to Apple, of the year. The only one in the sports category, because you can't count Travis and Jason interviewing a relative about you can't that no, we're not doing that. We're not doing Taylor Swift gets to be in the sports category.
Be respectful.
What?
Be respectful. My good friends, the Kels brothers.
The Kels brothers? I mean, but that doesn't put that in the sports category. That was an interview with Taylor Swift. The only thing in sports that was deemed worthy of best episode in podcasting over the last year was Pablo Torre. But before we get to that, can you explain to me the new reporting that you did and Mother Jones did on where the money was coming from on the Orlando Magic and this very rich family that does things like this easily with money that's easy for it to spend?
Yeah, Betsy DeVos, man. Like, she is the DeVos family is crazy, right? There's Eric Prince, the guy behind Blackwater, which is like the paramilitary private defense contractor. He's like in the picture, he's in the family tree, but she herself is someone who is not merely like very intertwined, I would say, with the Trump administration. She is also, her family is, alongside Rich DeVos, they own the Orlando Magic. And I think if people cared more about the Magic, maybe Kevin Clark is like the only person I know who even vaguely cares about the Orlando Magic. Maybe that would be a thing people really thought about more. But it's coming from NBA owners. And look, I'm not even asking anybody to pick a side on like the whole, like, again, should trans athletes be allowed to play in women's sports thing. I just think it's fascinating that there has been in the league, in the NBA this entire time, this multi-billionaire family that is actively using its money and laundering its own image using, like, what's the Orlando Magic mascot called? What's his name?
Stuff.
Stuff the Magic
Dragon.
They are using Stuff the Magic Dragon as this political beard behind which they're like puppeteering, I think, a corruption of certainly women's sports, but also politics itself. It's some pretty bad stuff.
You did that on purpose?
That's all I had at the end. I'm trying to just sprinkle in stuff because I know your audience is like mad at me for like getting the vegetables all up in the stuff.
Promoting his episode, he comes on here, and I should have kept it to 5 minutes, and instead we talked to 20 minutes.
What's the chat like on YouTube right now? Are they happy with me?
No,
or are they
live? We know better than to put you on live.
Look, you can imagine. I don't need to explain to you how it is that you are presently being blamed for ruining everything that we do around here with your journalism, with your Mother Jonesing. But you did. This is how you become a top 10 episode for Apple, and I will tell you. I don't know if you know this or not. Amin has been taking credit for all of the success of that episode, and Amin believes for all your journalistic team and everything you're doing, it wasn't until you saddled up on Amin and David Sampson that you actually brought home something that's a worthy trophy, because you were nominated for whatever all that was you were doing on the West Coast, but here you actually got a trophy.
To be fair, Dan, I'd laid the groundwork for quite a while before. I did the haunted house. I did the chicken misses from Giannis,
chicken eligible free
right?
throws.
Like all that.
He's been working you. Pablo has been working you.
But this Kawhi Leonard story, this is the pinnacle of our journalistic integrity. And Pablo, if I may speak for you, we're humbled by this award and by this recognition by not only Apple Podcasts.
You could speak for me, just for the record. Whatever comes out of Mean's mouth next is not something that I actually approve.
Are you not humbled? Pablo, were you not humble yourself?
I'm very. I would say that it's almost impossible to be humble if you say I'm humble, but
well, I mean, give it a try. So just say I'm humbled. I'm humbled by the recognition. Say it.
I am humbled.
Don't say it like
that.
Why
am I listening to you?
Why
am I listening to Amin?
Why are you saying it like a kid who was told to say, I'm sorry for breaking your stupid vase?
He doesn't want to say he's been humbled by anything.
Because he's not.
He's not humbled.
I've been emboldened. I have been emboldened, Amin. I'm emboldened, and the thing that's happening as we speak right now is that a lot of people are mad at me on the internet, and I don't think humility is going to get me anywhere. I've been told that in 2026, I need to somehow be even less humble, so I'm going to try and do that, actually.
Yeah, it's funny. I went to a game recently, and I had a team representative say, Pablo, he's good. Arrogant son of a bitch, though.
Oh, but can you imagine what's
Who was it? Who said it? I mean,
Look, if you guys want to talk about the process, Pablo Torre's career started with trying to dissect what Daryl Morey was trying to reinvent in Philadelphia. This is where
Sam Hinkie, but all look same. You
And
know?
also, that's not where it started. His career started with the money thing, how the guys all blew their money, right? Wasn't that your big first story?
Some people have alleged that it started there. Billy Corbin would maybe agree, given that I don't want to get into a beef with Bill. I love Billy. What am I doing?
Okay, regardless, his career, what's happened over the last year of Pablo, if you believe that some of the things that he has won, that any of the things that he's added to his resume are humble, you are not paying attention to what he wants as a destination. He wants to be able to show the entirety of the internet, my facts are so strong, I'm impenetrable. And he's done so. And now he's come to this story because this one's hard to do. Like this, what happened? What?
You know what's happening, Amin, actually, is that, and I do want to credit Amin for being a leg of the tripod. What is happening in my mentions, actually, is that Dan is turning into the George Soros of journalism. People are saying, who is funding Pablo Torre finds out? Who's the dark money source? And I'm like, you could watch him on YouTube every day. He's sitting in that chair over there, sweating about how much money we're spending.
Worried about the billionaires coming
happening
after us when you get one of these facts wrong.
Pablo, how did you feel about Jordan hitting you with a "you're welcome"?
I just want her to come on the show. Can we get that? Can you be my more charming proxy and convince Jordan Hudson to come on the show? That's how you can add value to the enterprise here, because that's where this whole thing is going.
He's already added value. Yeah, come on.
No, I'm saying more value.
More value.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Added value.
What do I do? How do I do this? Do you just DM these people? How do you do it? Well, I know how you do it. I'm saying, how does someone who wants to be successful?
I think we got to assign Amin to like an adult co-ed cheerleading contest, and you have to cover it, and you have to embed. I think Amin needs to actually join an adult co-ed cheerleading team, and then befriend Jordan Hudson.
Ask him about the quality loss thing.
No, stop! Get away! No.
Losses.
We're not talking about this anymore. We had it on.
See you later, Pablo. Good seeing you. Good talking to you. And keep up the good work. Pablo Torre finds out. I will tell you that.
Thank you for the money and for saving journalism, Dan. Couldn't do without you. Not a joke.
You're welcome.
I know I keep saying that the work that he's doing is difficult to do, but if anyone has been sort of built for these fights because he's going to try and win them with facts, he's not getting more humble, though. He's out of control. His head, like, you don't understand what getting the universal applause of what used to be the blue check marks. For Pablo, great, you're better at journalism than anybody. Like, there's no greater applause you can give Pablo.
Called him an arrogant son of a bitch.
But humble isn't going to be one of the things. He's winning all the awards. Like, he's not going to get more humble from here. He would have to be humbled by making a mistake, by tripping and getting something wrong.
I don't think he really cares about the awards. I think he cares that he's getting stories that nobody else is getting, though, and that they're getting traction.
Well, they get traction because it's hard. Look, he's doing the hardest thing the hardest way. Be at the trough where everyone else is and do the hardest things better than anyone else is doing them. Like, that's not a lane anybody else wanted the challenge of taking. It's a very hard lane to take.
This story is a perfect example. Like, I've been pretty locked in on this story as it's evolved over the last several years, and there were several things in here that I had never heard and learned because of the work that Pablo does with this other journalist. It's spectacular.
He's trying. What he is attempting to do with that podcast is the highest degree of difficulty, which is, can I exceed the standard of being at the thing everyone else is talking about and still consistently surprise you with fact-based reporting that makes even the people who feel the most informed be like, holy, I didn't know it was like that.
Talking like Zaz.
It's the holiday season, and it is the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, which means a lot of my favorite memories start the same way. I bring out a cornucopia of beautiful white Miller Lite cans, and I spread that holiday cheer. Ah, Miller Lite, holiday season. You crack open a Miller Lite, you look around, you look at your friends, you look at your family. You take that first sip, and you know you made the right call. Miller Lite just fits. It's taste that you know you can depend on. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients like malted barley, rich balanced toffee notes, and that iconic golden color. almost festive in a way. And at 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces, it lets you enjoy the season without weighing you down. The original light beer since 1975 and still hitting different 50 years later. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time! Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories at 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
That's right. It's Thursday Thunder, and it's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings! The crown is yours. Juju, what you got?
What up, y'all? Thursday Thunder yet again. Back on the block, and we're going to win, baby. First leg, Tyrell Shavers for over 1.5 receptions tonight. Josh Allen, he's already been depleted of Dalton Kincaid. Keon Coleman having attitude problems, behavior problems, that is. Who else? Everybody you can name out there for Josh Allen, they're basically hurt, and Shavers is not. So I will lock in at 1.5 receptions. Next leg, Nico Collins for 4 catches at least. Come on, man. He the superstar in Houston. Who else he gonna throw to? You dig it? Lock that in. Speaking of who else he gonna throw to, Xavier Hutchinson, 1.5 catches. I like it. I expect Houston to be trailing. Let's go Buffalo. But I expect Houston to be trailing and have to toss that pill all across that field. You dig it? And the last leg, Jaden Higgins, over 2.5 receptions tonight. He's been a favorite of Davis Mills. That second team in practice been getting them reps, and now that they're on the first team, he connecting with my boy. Lock it in, baby. Thursday Thunder. I see you.
I see you too, Julian G. Chris messed up, called you Juju. I said, look, he's got the tie on. You know what that means. Tie and collared shirt. He's Julian.
Yeah, that's on me, Coach. That's on me.
Yes, sir. But you know what else is on me? Today, I'm gonna give a peek behind the curtain.
Yes.
Usually my topics, I come up with my topics during the show. I have some stuff prepared, have some stuff I left over from last night. Today is one of those days where y'all literally hit everything on my topic list. Whoa. Yes, I'm talking about I had a joker of the day, and then at the last second, Pablo, how you felt about Jordan saying? I was like, oh, well.
That's my bad.
Well, here we are. So this is an impromptu post-game show.
Okay.
Amin, yesterday when you said goofy-ass Knicks tweets, I was like, what is happening? You was describing Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
You was like, he was cool before those goofy-ass Knicks tweets, and my heart dropped, bro.
Yeah, I walked that line a little too close.
Woo!
You felt
Yes,
alive.
sir.
You felt alive, didn't you? That's
I
what
feel alive now.
Mine.
Also, it's not enough fanfare coming from the academy towards the choreography of the Bat Jack intros. I'm talking about football. I'm talking about hockey, whatever you're talking about. Basketball, I love Jeremy Taché, Carl. Y'all did a great job. I'm talking about choreography.
I said this off air. I thought I said it off air.
Yes, you did, off air.
I'm staggered. The football one, they did it in one take. Like, if you watch, that's one continuous take. They never cut. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot. The lip syncing, the synchronicity, the stunt work. Like, that's really hard. The basketball one is some cut points.
Only took like 42 tries.
That's not true.
But out of the 42 takes, that was one of them.
About 4.
Hey, man.
And whoever choreographed that, super handsome.
Doc Rivers? Hey, it's a real handsome choreography. I'll tell you what.
I love that.
Juju, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah. Also, I just want to ask you, because we're impromptu right now a little bit.
Yep.
Is it time to start having a conversation about Alperen Sengun?
First of all, you got to say it like Reggie Miller says it. Shane Goon.
Shane Goon.
Shane Goon. Like he's Shane Battier. Shane Goon.
Shane Goon Alexander.
How more of a conversation? Maybe I'm in my bubble here, but I kind of feel like he was an all-star last year, so now he's here now. We're not looking past him anymore, are we?
We're not looking past him. I feel like I guess I'm watching the wrong television shows because they don't make as big of a deal as I think that they should be making about my boy.
That's a good point. I mean, Kevin Durant brings a lot of attention. That's the thing. So it's like it's easy to get lost in the sauce. But no, he's been incredible. I love him.
Hell yeah. So I had a question for Judge Zaslow today. So since Judge Zaz isn't here, I guess I got to ask Judge Amin. So
Here we go.
I got a question for you, bro. Is Zaslow a movie guy? I need your ruling.
Do we have any imaging or does it just go?
I mean, I have Judge Zaz.
Give me the Judge Zaz and then
Gotta grab it.
Okay, because we can edit this out. I will make a ruling as soon as the filibuster. Should we just give up on it?
I mean, he has said the F word off mic 3 times already.
Okay, that's all right.
I've never met someone so upset to do their job.
In the case of Jonathan Zaslow, V being a movie fraud,
All rise. The Honorable Jonathan Zaslow now
There was only
presiding
one F word
with
before
prejudice.
Judge Zaslow's not here. Judge Amin will be taking his place. In the case of Jonathan Zaslow, v. the people, the charge of, is he a movie fraud? The court finds him guilty as charged.
Oh, damn.
Givable.
He's a fraud, man.
Unforgiven.
He's a fraud. You know, I don't trust people who haven't seen Dodgeball. That's what it comes down to. You can't have not seen Rambo, not seen James Bond, and not seen Dodgeball. That's 3 decades.
I've seen that one. That has a young Anna Paquin in it.
Any polls, Juju? Because I'm hungry and I want to go to lunch.
Oh, yes, sir. I got some polls. But before the poll, I want to give a little shout out to a player of the day, basically a hero of the day.
Hero of the
you
day.
feel me? Yes, sir, man. We got Mackenzie Scott, man. Sis been doing big work, bro. Over $700 million donated to HBCUs, man. Oh, that's almost $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
In donations. You feel me? Like, bro, hats off to her, as well as the brother Bryce Dunlap, man. Can't go without saying thank you to little bro and his family. 21 years old and passed away suddenly. All the prayers and wishes with the family. But the family donated the liver to Bernie Kosar and saved his life. You feel me? So hats off to both of those people, man. Salute.
Very giving. Juju,
Yes, sir.
what are the polls?
Is basketball a winter sport? 62% of the audience says yes, it is.
I mean,
If you haven't,
go ahead. Sorry.
if you haven't seen Dodgeball, should all your movie opinions be disqualified?
Come correct, audience.
81% of the audience says yes, they should be disqualified.
Well done by the audience.
Julian, do you know what the other 19% are?
What are they, brother?
Suckers.
Would Wemby make a great first baseman? 53% of the audience says no, he wouldn't, Chris.
Thank you.
He can do the splits.
Doesn't matter.
Damn.
Guy can't field the ground ball. He's too tall.
I
Do
think
the splits.
I think we put him in the wrong spot. I think we put him over there in left field and dare somebody to try it. You did.
All right, that's
Or maybe not. It's
Just
just-
robbing home runs without
Yeah.
jumping.
Center field.
Right. For sure. Is the movie Maverick a James Garner vehicle or a Mel Gibson vehicle? 65% of the audience says Mel Gibson vehicle.
No. The other 35% is Greg Cody. What?
Right.
Other 35% are Lucky Jays.
And before the last poll, I want to remind the audience to go listen to Sebastian Maniscalco on South Beach Sessions. Good gosh, oh moly, bro. Saturday Night Live just did a skit about my boy last week. I'm talking about he is rolling right now. And his podcast is one of the only other podcasts I listen to besides this one and salute to Joe Budden.
You guys hear this? This guy named Julian. He listens to my podcast.
Right. Hey, that
Also,
guy.
check out the alley oop.
Oh, man, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. You know, I'm not that guy. I got to get better at that part of it. You feel me?
Julian and Krista Crick. They talk about basketball.
Yes, sir. And this is the weekend for Friendsgiving. A lot of Friendsgiving around the world. Thanksgiving next week. So remember, while you having the Friendsgivings and having all the fun, everybody ain't got a lot of friends. You feel me? So even if you're not gonna invite them, at least call your friends, check up on your partners, because this holiday season be lonely, bruh. It's just as fun as it be for the families, it's as lonely as it is for the rest of the world who not necessarily having a lot of family right now. So salute. Last poll. Kyle Shanahan, if he does that, 79% of the audience says yes. And those are your polls.
Hello.
Thank you, Julian G. Oh, thank you, Julian G.